All right, I think we're at 3 minutes past the hour, with 29 participants, so probably this is a good time to start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Instance Level Recognition Workshop. Thanks for attending. Great to see everyone this year. This workshop is made possible by a large collaboration between contributors from academia and industry. So let me take a minute to introduce the organizer of the workshop, who you'll see hosting the different sessions today. From Google Research, I'm André Araújo, and my colleagues are Cam Askew, Bingi Kao, Jacksim, and Tobias Weyand. From the Czech Technical University in Prague, we have Andre Hon, Joros Dolias, and Torsten Sattler. From Seoul National University, we have Bo Ying Han. Columbia University, Guangxing Han. From Osaka University, we have Noah Garcia. And from Amazon in the team, we have Shu Zhang, Sangxiao, Sangsheng Zhao, Varsha Hedal, Pradeep Natarajan, Yu Wei, and Robertson Yamamoto. Today's workshop is going to be split into two sessions, each about 2 hours long. The first session we're starting now, and the second one will happen after a break, and that will start at 4 p.m. in the EDT time zone. We hope you'll be able to join us for both sessions. Note that all presentations will be recorded and made available after the workshop. For this first session, after the opening remarks, we'll invite Zhu Kim from Google Research to talk about the new FAIRER dataset, which was used for the landmark challenges this year. Then we'll discuss the landmark recognition challenge, including the winner presentations. And at this point, we'll switch gears to our first invited talk given by Professor Laura Liao Taché. And then we'll conclude the first session with an overview and winner presentations for the landmark retrieval challenge. In the second session after the break, we'll start by discussing interactive product retrieval led by our Amazon collaborators. Then we'll invite Nikolaos Ypsilantis to discuss the artwork recognition area. And at this point, we'll switch gears again to our second invited talk by Dr. Rong Jing from Alibaba. And finally, at that point, we'll close the day with closing remarks, opening the session for discussion and Q&A. Okay, now that we're clear of these organizational comments, let me switch gears to introduce the topic of the workshop. And the first thing you may be wondering is what we exactly mean by instance level recognition. So the best way to understand this is maybe by considering the possible labels one may assign to images like these. In a generic or basic recognition problem, we would normally have coarse labels such as painting, building, or hat. These are the types of labels that you find for datasets like ImageNet or OpenImages, for example. In a more fine-grained setup, which is generally called fine-grained recognition, the labels are more specific, for example, describing the painting style, the type of building, or the type of hat. And fine-grained recognition is an area that is explored in a different workshop series called FGVC. In this workshop, we're interested in instance-level labels, which are very detailed. So for the painting and building images here, the label would correspond to the specific instance. For the painting, that would be Starry Night over the Rhone by Van Gogh. For the building, that would be the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. For the hat, the label here will correspond to the specific product shown in the image, which is a Google cap in this case. This type of technology is key for many important computer vision applications. For example, augmenting cultural exhibits in a museum, organizing photo collections, travel assistance, or visual commerce, for example. So I wanted to highlight some important characteristics of this problem so that people can get a sense of the difficulty we're dealing with. So the first characteristic that stands out is the large number of classes, since the classes are so specific. For example, using here the Google Landmarks Dataset V2, there are 200,000 classes. And you can see, in this case, the geographic distribution in this plot. The second characteristic I wanted to highlight is that the problem may present a long tail of number of images per class. And you can see that here on the right, again, for the Google Landmarks Dataset V2. There are some very popular landmarks with many images, while about half of all landmarks have fewer than 10 images. In this dataset, only 20% of classes have more than 25 images. So these instance level problems can be very imbalanced in general. Finally, this is a problem that may have limited appearance variability since the classes are very specific. And in many cases, the objects we're trying to recognize are rigid, which means that appearance variation is mostly based on capture conditions such as illumination, viewpoint, noise, clutter, or occlusion. Here's again another example from the landmarks dataset where the building of interest is shown on different viewpoints and illumination conditions. To give you some perspective of our workshop series, this year's workshop is part of an effort which we started back in 2018. In 2018, we released the first version of the Google Landmarks dataset, which enabled the first landmark recognition and retrieval challenges. And that same year, we hosted the first landmark recognition workshop in CDPR. Moving forward in 2019, we released a new and improved dataset, new challenges, and hosted the second landmark recognition workshop in CDPR. Then in 2020, we decided to move beyond landmark recognition and expand the effort to include other types of instance level recognition problems in the domains of artwork and product recognition. Amazon joined the effort to develop a product retrieval challenge, and we also started collection of an artwork dataset based on imagery from the Metropolitan Museum in New York City. And we also launched a new set of landmark challenges that year. Now, getting to 2021, we launched a fourth edition of our landmark challenges, which this year had a focus on more fairer worldwide representation for the dataset. And today we're hosting the fourth workshop in the series with new developments in the product and artwork domains. Amazon is announcing their challenge on interactive product retrieval, and the artwork dataset is being released. And you hear more about all of these things later in the workshop. As a final comment in these introducing remarks, let me mention that we really welcome collaborations in this workshop from both academia and industry. So if you're a student or researcher in this area and would like to get involved, or if you're interested in a related instance level recognition problem, or if you have any ideas or feedback, please feel free to contact us at this email address. Okay, that's it for these opening remarks. Any questions at this point? While we wait to see if there are any questions or comments, maybe I can ask Zoo to start sharing the slides. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Zoo can start setting up the slides while we if there's any points people wanted to raise.